respond non-defensively, we need to seek more information.
The response of seeking more information makes good sense when you realize that it's foolish to respond to a critical attack until you understand what the other person has said. Many people don't like asking for more details when they're being criticized because they confuse the act of listening open-mindedly with actually accepting the criticism. For example, Sandra is complaining to her husband Dan that he doesn't do enough around the house. Once Dan realizes that he can listen to Sandra's criticism without accepting them, it can become much easier for him to hear her out. The following are ways you can seek additional information from your critics. Abstract accusations such as, "You're being unfair," or "You never help out," can be difficult to understand. In such cases, one should ask, "What do I do that's unfair?" or "When haven't I helped out?" If you're still being accused of reacting defensively, the problem might lie in your nonverbal cues, such as your tone of voice, facial expression, posture, or body language. "Exactly what are you talking about?" sounds much more aggressive and defensive than "Exactly what are you talking about?" On some occasions, even your sincere and well-phrased request for specifics won't meet with success. In a sense, you become both the detective and the suspect, and the goal being to determine exactly what crime you have committed. So, in Dan's case, he can ask, "When you say that I'm not doing my share around the house, do you mean that I haven't been helping enough with the cleaning?" Another strategy is to draw out confused or reluctant speakers by paraphrasing their thoughts and feelings and using the active listening skills.
Ask what the critic wants. At times, the obvious is demanded, such as, "Clean that dirty room now. I told you to take the dogs for a walk." However, this does not happen all the time, and one must investigate in order to discover what the critic wants from you. Ask about the consequences of your behavior. Only when some person's need is not being met do they criticize your behavior. A way to respond is to find out how your behavior has affected them or what consequences occurred due to your behavior.
Nurse Abby came into work late, and Nurse Sandy is unimpressed with her tardiness.
"Why do you care whether I'm late for work?"
"Because when the boss asks, I feel obligated to make up some story so you won't get in trouble, and I don't like to lie."
Ask what else is wrong. Sometimes in order to discover the real problem, one must question the other's complaints.
Agree with your critics by maintaining your position, but accepting the critic's point of view. How am I going to do this, you may ask? Stay tuned, and these 2 secrets will freely be given away in the next few minutes. Secret number 1. The secret is agree with the facts. This is not easy, but it is one of the best ways of restoring your reputation with a critic. Responses to the critic being right could be answers like, "Now that you mention it, I did get pretty sarcastic." "You know what? You're right. I was late, and I did get angry." Trying to disagree with the facts makes you a hypocrite. Why is it so difficult to accept criticism? Critics do 2 things. They often describe the action that offends them, and they also evaluate it. Often, it is not hard accepting the facts, but it is hard to accept the judgment that comes along with it. We don't have to accept the accompanying evaluations, but we can agree with and even learn from the descriptive parts of many criticisms. When you agree with the facts, be honest. Be humble, as this will help you avoid trouble. The following is a clip from Scrubs where Dr. Cox is not agreeing with his critic nor being humble in his opinion.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong.
And now it's time for secret number 2. Agree with the critic's perception. Even when you think they are out of line, there is still a way to agree with them.
I don't think you're being totally honest about your reason for wanting to stay home. You say it's because you have a headache, but I think you're just avoiding Dr. Mary.
I can see why that would make sense to you, because Dr. Mary and I got into an argument about a patient's prognosis the last time we were working together. All I can say is that I do have a headache. If you need to apologize, do it sincerely, and before you counteract some of your critics, ask yourself if a defensive response will be worth the consequences.